Hello, everybody, and happy Monday. Welcome to this edition of the Racing Insiders podcast. I'm Kate Dillon from Crate Insider here today with Steve Hendren from Hendren Racing Engines. We had a little snafu here with the laptop. I don't know. Maybe it wants to be online now. Nope. It acts like it doesn't even know that there's Wi-Fi, and there's two Wi-Fi connections in this house. Yeah. But it's like, I don't know. So we're on the iPad today, and so welcome to the show. So tell me, Steve, how's your day going?
It was a Monday.
Okay. I'm gonna get logged in on my phone as well so that I can see the questions.
I got
and
you.
read them.
That's probably a good idea.
Yeah. So maybe you can tell
if there is any. There might not be any.
There's actually a couple on here that were posted beforehand.
Okay.
So I wanted to check those out, but it was just kind of a little bit of a, not really a struggle. I don't want to say that, but
right.
It was not. I was setting this up a little while ago. So
gotcha.
So how about in the last week? Have any updates on getting crate engines or anything like that?
I mean, I've seen a few available, but like people are paying full list price at like places like Jegs and stuff like that.
Oh, okay. Okay. Gotcha. All right.
Other than that, no.
Okay.
Not for, normal price.
Now, I hear there's some races that are coming up this weekend.
I don't even know.
Okay.
So I have no idea what's coming up this weekend or next weekend or the weekend after that, because it's been assholes and elbows at our place. So
yeah. Now, are you getting? I think I asked you this before, but I'm pretty curious about kind of what's going on if people are getting ready for Bristol or.
I didn't even know anything about Bristol until you told me about it Saturday, honestly. Yeah. So I don't know.
Because I haven't really heard any buzz, and it was such a big deal.
And I can honestly care less, to be honest, about Bristol. Well, I mean, that's a great way to blow your season in one race.
Gotcha. Yeah. I'm just going to try to mute myself here. Hopefully I can do that. We'll see. Wow. Okay. I just want to stop the cam. There we go.
Yeah, everything's like all fucky today because of the technical malfunction here.
Yeah, and mute. All right.
And the sound quality will probably be shit. I don't even know.
I don't know. I guess we'll find out. We'll find out the hard way.
Who knows?
Okay, great.
And somehow that happened.
Yeah, well, we'll just that I can fix. Remove from stream. All right. Great. Apologies for that, you guys.
Now I can see myself.
Yay! All right. So let's say hi to some folks. I see Chris is here and Scott is here. Mikey's here from Oregon, and J. Mike Burns, and Jeremy's here, and Roy and Terry. So cool deal. All right, let's go ahead and jump into some questions here. And this first one is: do we need to change E85 carb jets for humidity changes like we do for alcohol carburetors? A lean motor makes more power than a fat motor. Question. Just wondering if it makes a difference. And that's a question we got from Richard.
I mean, I'd contact your carburetor manufacturers. I mean, whoever does your carbs. I mean, nowadays, like on our stuff, we very rarely make jet changes. Usually it'll be an air bleed change or something.
Okay. And why the air bleeds instead of jets?
I'm not a carb guy, so you have to ask my brother. Just being honest.
Yeah. Probably be good to. I probably learned a little bit more about that. Great. So Scott's here. He says, hi, Stephen K from California, or S&K as he says. Regulator bypass question on an open motor, alcohol, Willys carb, fuel pressure on accelerator 8.5. What should fuel pressure be when lifting and or on idle?
Just depends on the kind of system you've got, really. I mean, there's several different bypass systems. Usually on methanol, you're running, a belt-driven pump. And then you're regulating it with a bypass regulator like what you have. There'll be a bypass pill that keeps a low, 3 pounds in an idle kind of deal. And then once you accelerate and get above a certain amount of fuel flow, then it jumps up to the usually 10 to 11 pounds on methanol. It's what we used to run. I mean, I don't run methanol anymore, so I don't know what the current technology is on that. Be a good question for Willie, but 10 to 11 pounds is what we used to run.
That brings up an important point, and there's just so many different rules packages and interesting things throughout the country.
Oh, there is.
You know, like on the East Coast, we don't run methanol on the East
Yeah.
Coast or in the South, and anywhere west of the Mississippi is alcohol.
Right.
Mikey says, "Howdy, troublemakers." Yeah, it's probably us. And let's see. Oh, Jeremy has a great question. He says, "Hey, Kate, any chance you have some dirt car lifts in stock?" Yes. Yeah. I mean, maybe I must be last man standing or something because I've had like 4 on the shelf for like a few months, and now I just sold 2 in the last few days.
Yeah.
So yeah, we've got 2 left on
Cool.
the shelf. It's the X Series lift is the one that I have on the shelf, and we've got it. You know, it's boxed up. It's 2 boxes, but ready to send out the door. And so it would get to you in just however many days away you are shipping wise, just drop it into the UPS system there. So cool. And Roy says, "Hey," so Roy with the Up on the Bars podcast, and love his show and what he's doing there. Terry says, "Like your show. Thank you so much for being here." Okay, Jeremy has a suggestion for you, Steve. He says, "Steve, try some Fireball / pickle juice 50-50 mix and thank me later." We could do that.
I'm not a pickle guy, so.
Well, you are if it's vodka.
If it's vodka, I am. But
I mean, like doing picklebacks, you're all about that.
No, I don't do picklebacks. I drink straight vodka and then chase it with a pickle.
Oh, with a pickle.
Yeah.
Okay, but not with the pickle
I'm
juice.
not a pickle juice guy.
Oh, okay.
I've had picklebacks and shit like that, and I'm not a pickle juice guy.
Okay.
Thanks for the info, though. I'll maybe have one of my friends try it first.
Yeah, that would be a good idea. That would be fun. Maybe have like a tiny little sip or something. Yeah, but I mean, I've tried Fireball. I'm not a big Fireball person, but I do love Cinnamon Toast Crunch shots, which is Fireball and rum chata.
Yeah.
It's a nice mix right there, for sure. But tonight I'm drinking Sprite. What are you drinking, Steve?
Just Bud Light.
Bud Light. All right. And Brandon is here saying hey, and J Mike says we hear you okay, so that's good.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
It's not
So he
horrible
said
then.
no, that's good. I mean, I think the iPad usually, I don't know, does a pretty decent job. We just don't use it because it's easier to use a computer rather than hooking up all of the
42 different fucking camera angles and shit.
I know, I like that.
I don't like that.
I like having the Steve cam. Well, one thing that happened in the last week, of course, is daylight savings time.
Thank God.
I love the summertime time. You know, which I know is the daylight savings, and like we were on standard time, and now we're on daylight savings. But I do wish we would have that like year round. Would be my favorite thing. But any question you guys have, feel free to drop them into the comments. We are more than happy to answer any questions.
Or don't. We can get out here early tonight.
My goodness, you slacker. No, I'll tell you what's really fun. I really resisted for a really long time, but we started a TikTok channel for Crate Insider and have just been putting up like kind of like a video a day. I did a couple of response videos today answering questions, and it's, I tell you, it's freaking shocking. I have dragged my feet for probably 2 years knowing about TikTok, but I just saw it as, oh my gosh, just something else, like slogging through more content. I'm not going to dance in front of the camera. I'm not going to do any of that stuff. Well, I don't think I've told you the results yet, have I?
Yeah.
Okay. So I've been on Instagram. We started our Instagram account in 2014 and like with only a couple posts a year. Right. I was serious about it in 2017. I mean, we're talking like making sure I had my daily post and engage with other people and like other stuff. Right. Tried doing IGTV and all the stuff. Here we are. It's 2022. I have been on there since mid 2017, hardcore, and we've got like 2,500 followers. Well, I've been on TikTok not even a week. We have 1,800 followers. Oh. There's a video I posted yesterday, Sunday, about the race fan. It has 57,000 views. Cool. You want to know how many views it has on Instagram? Because I posted the same video within
57.
40. 40. And we have 1,800 followers over there. I mean, it makes it a joy. I mean, it's like Instagram has been swimming upstream for a really long time. I mean, I'm going to keep a presence there just so that, I mean, it just saves the name, but you're not going to see us on Instagram a whole hell of a lot. I'll just be honest. We're not. It's absolutely, I mean, I pay people. I've taken thousands of dollars in courses. I have paid people to do our Instagram. And here we are. I got more progress in a freaking week with TikTok. And it's fun. It's fun. You can actually interact with people. I'm really liking it. I'm really liking TikTok. So if you're over on TikTok, if you drop in a comment, I mean, since the follows are coming in so quickly. I mean, literally, I woke up yesterday. I think it was like 1,200, and now we're 1,800 today.
Wow.
So they're coming in super fast. But if you leave a comment, those are the people I'm following now. Is the people who want to comment on our videos.
Cool.
Let's see. Mikey says a lot of crate motor haters in our world these days. I think we just need to sit down, drink drinks with good friends, and enjoy the fact we get to still chase each other in circles while we still can. It brings up a lot. I know we talked about it a little bit last week, and I got a little livid, and that's not really, kind of who I am or what I do. But I just want to say that there are a lot of different rules throughout the country. Like where we are in the South, it's the crates all kind of race together. We don't really have controversy because crates have always been able to be rebuilt ever since they came out, and there's a lot more angst in the Midwest where it really got engine builders out. I mean, the guys that adopted crate engines really does put engine builders out of business, but you are an engine builder, and it was always inclusive from the very beginning to involve the engine builders in a sealed program.
Right.
But still, you weren't completely cut out of the deal.
No.
Which is a lot different than what happens in the Midwest. So, I can understand where there's a lot of different feelings and throughout the country. And, I just want to be here to support racing. And I apologize for, being all ranty. So not really my deal. So I apologize. All right. Let's see. J Mike says our race team used to run strictly alcohol, not in the car, but in the team members on the way home and in the garage. That is something I miss from the Midwest.
Yeah.
I mean, you and I have talked about that,
Yep.
in California, and like me growing up in Iowa,
Yep.
there was always the, having a few beers after the races.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
we just don't see that so much in the, like where we are,
Yeah.
this area, for sure.
Which is sad.
All righty. And Jeremy says, Kate, are those the economy X lifts or the regular X lifts? No shipping. I'll come get it. It's not the ecos. It's the X lifts are the ones that I have on the shelf. And that would be great if you'd want to come pick it up, because that'll definitely save you. I think we flat rated at $180. I think it usually costs us more than that to ship it, but I try to.
Yeah.
It sucks.
It does. Shipping right now is a total ass killer.
Oh, it has been for a while, but it's really gone up quite a bit. But yeah, Jeremy, if you want to come swing by, you just give me a call. And
it's about to do weird shit with everything because of the stupid fucking gas prices and everything.
Well, it is interesting. And I was on the phone today, and I was talking with someone, and he mentioned, while we were on the phone, he was driving, and he goes, "Oh my gosh." And I was like, "Why? What's going on?" And he's like, the gas price dropped. He's like, yesterday it was like $3.89, and today it's like $3.58 a gallon. Right. I was like, okay, I might have to go get gas now. So, I mean, yeah.
Well, it's not that here.
Yeah, I hear you. Oh, and Josh Hellens is here. He said, if we had the Midwest track surfaces in the South.
I agree 1,000% with that. Holy
Amen.
Crap. We can actually do some racing.
Oh, yeah. It's such a challenge.
These shitty tracks in the Carolinas are just unbelievable. There's like no good track surface anywhere.
Yeah, and I don't know the solution. I really don't. I don't know. I don't know the solution. I don't want to say there's shitty tracks. I would just say that there's not passing is just not something that's just part
of the shitty track surface, which is what I just said.
You know what I mean? I'm anti-bashing, you know that. So, so I'm not going to say they're shitty tracks.
It is what it is.
There's an improvement on the surface. Yeah. I mean, people have talked about bringing in train cars and dirt before.
99% of the races here are over after qualifying. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
There's no good solution here right now.
I would agree. They're over after qualifying. Yeah, somebody doesn't break. That's it.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, now Jeremy has a suggestion for Josh. He says just put everyone on a hard tire rule and make it fun.
Amen to that. I want to see the hardest freaking piece of shit rock tire you can possibly get on one of these crate cars. I don't care whether that's a modified or a damn late model or a street stock. They need to be the hardest shit that there is, especially with the way tire prices have gone.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the one discussion point I'm really surprised that nobody has taken up is with the higher cost of tires, and not only the higher cost, but also the complete lack of availability. What happens if you've got crappy tires and can't get more? How is that going to impact racing? I mean, we saw a lot of asphalt tracks that had to cancel races last year. And yet I know that there are products out there that don't break down a tire. They don't make a tire dangerous, but that they would treat the tire. Think of like a leather conditioner that could keep our tires going for longer. And I'm really surprised that that point of discussion hasn't come up.
You know,
So I wonder how many haters.
That point of discussion has been up since the very day that everybody implemented tire testing. So yeah, that point of contention has been made for years.
Yeah, but nobody's talking seriously about investigating it.
Now it's to a serious point. So do you want weekly racers, or do you want, to have tire shortages? I don't know.
Yeah.
Legalize tire prep. That's all I got to say.
Oh, well, I agree. Yep. And in fact, I'm just going to get myself, I might as well just make this getting Kate herself in trouble show, but I'm going to have a new one. I got a new one coming. I mean, if it's not legal for you to run, don't run it. But actually, there's a lot of places in the country where it's perfectly legal and perfectly fine. Right. And, it's even saved a series in the Midwest.
Oh, absolutely.
Because they could use the takeoffs and be able to treat those tires, and they were completely usable instead of ending up a landfill. So, pretty cool about that. All right. Let's see.
Damn, I'm like all burpy again.
You are. Don't be burpy. All right, I got sideways. Oh, Josh says, Fayetteville is good. They farm their dirt, and they had a great North Carolina Speed Weeks. Yeah, I mean, David's done a really good job of bringing in dirt and really redoing that whole track over there. I haven't gotten a chance to get over there, but
I haven't been there since it was a sandy pile of shit. So that's good news if they actually improved it.
Yeah, that's great. Josh says D70 white dots. Is that a terrible tire?
Yeah. It's a good example of what everybody should be on.
Okay. Derek says, I've competed with my 525 in the Fuel, Steel Block Bandits, and Topless Outlaw series for the past few years. Being from Upper West Virginia, I've advocated for our regional Steel Block series to allow the 525 here, and they absolutely refuse. I'd love to hear your opinions on the matter.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's probably ignorance, and I don't know why they wouldn't. I mean, you're talking they've gone up now in price like everything else, so you're talking a $7,800 engine versus, $35,000, $40,000 steelhead stuff. I mean, it makes no sense. I mean, if you've got more $7,500 or $7,800 engines out there running around, then you're automatically going to have more guys want to race in whatever series. So yeah, I mean, I don't get it. I do kind of get it, because that whole thing happened down here in Carolinas and Georgia and Tennessee, Eastern Tennessee and stuff like that. And it was all the dudes with the $40,000 engines getting their asses handed to them that were crying and bitching and moaning because they just spent $40,000 and got outrun by a $7,200 engine back when they were $7,200. So yeah, I get that.
Yeah.
From their standpoint.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, David says, did you get your shirts? Yes, we did, David. Really exciting. You forgot to wear yours.
Well, it's not that I didn't forget. I woke up this morning, it was freaking 21 degrees. So no, I've got a hoodie on today. So once it warms up, we'll be wearing some t-shirts.
Yeah. And David, I love your sense of humor. I'm going to give it a shot. We mentioned our shirt sizes as large and extra large. And the extra large is a youth extra large. Yeah. So I figured I'd try it on, and we'll see how fun that is.
I could try it on too.
Big man in a little coat. So thank you. Jeremy has an opinion. He says, I am not a fan of any tire prep or conditioners. That's one more thing to have to maintain weekly.
The maintenance on it's virtually nothing. We did it for years back when we were running Goodyears and when that shit was legal to do. Basically you spray it on and that's it. Once a week, wash the tires. You're doing that anyway. Yeah. So one more step. It was never an issue. I mean, I remember running a set of Goodyears for 10 races in a row, like a whole set.
Wow.
And winning, I think, 8 of the 10 races. So it can be done. It's not a major. It's not a major. It's no worse than any series that allows grooving and siping. I'll put it that way.
Great. I mean, it's just, I really want to gather these opinions, and it's just an interesting discussion.
Well, I think what a lot of people have when they're against tire prep is they just don't know what it does or how it works or how to use it and stuff like that. Well, yeah, follow some simple instructions, and you too can have prep tires that'll run just as good as the guy next to you.
Well, and interesting, Mikey's working at a speed shop now in Oregon, and he says, we have been limiting number of tires to each customer to give all of our local drivers a chance to get new tires.
Yeah, that's going on everywhere right now.
Yeah. So it doesn't really contribute to the series as far as like points money and stuff. I mean, they're still going to sell however many tires they've allocated.
Do you want to be able to have races?
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it's going to come down to this year.
And Shane says they got us on a spec 1350 on the front and Pro 2s on the back in our area this year.
Mm-hmm.
Pro 2s. I'm not familiar with that.
That's American Racer tire, I believe.
Oh, really? Well,
I
don't know. I mean, 1350 would be a Hoosier.
Yeah.
So you'd have like Hoosiers on the front and American Racers on, I don't know. It's like party in the front, like
I don't know.
Business in the front, party in the rear.
I don't know. I think that's what that
but
is.
he's running a 602.
Pro whatever.
Yeah. Oh, and back to the Steel Block Bandits. J. Mike says they probably don't have the tools and or knowledge on how to catch a cheated up 525.
Yeah, I mean that's probably true too. But it's also probably one of the easiest engines in the entire world to tech, because all you need is a damn bubble, and bubble the damn thing. If it's not a stroker motor, then pretty much from there, I mean, there's not a whole lot to tech on it. Honestly, I mean, camshaft would be the other major thing, but I mean, the most common cheated up thing is going to be put a stroker kit in one.
Okay.
So, and even if they did that, you're still talking, you're making less power than what a damn steelhead is. So, I mean,
interesting.
I don't know.
Well, and Jeremy,
but yeah, I get your point, and I think you're right. I mean, they're just scared of the damn thing because they don't know what the hell it is.
Yeah, and this is a really great point. So Jeremy says, talking about tire prep. So it isn't like a go-kart tire where you are wiping out all week. I know with our kart tires, you end up working 10 sets of tires every week because one set out of those 10 will be faster than the rest.
Yeah, no, it's not like that at all.
No, it's really, especially with the grip bike products that we have from Daytona 1, it really ends up being you want to wash your tires, which you would anyway. And like using the Aqua, which is one of the products, opens up the pores. And whether you want to do the outside or the inside, it would just be like one swipe around and then throw some saran wrap on it and you're done, or tire wrap. And
yeah, it's much simpler than what you're going through.
Yeah. And then I don't want to speak too soon on this new one. So
right.
But so Shane says it's an American Racer in the back. So very interesting in a 602 series. We got
they should be on that Pro 2 all the way around. Is what it should be.
Is that? Do you think? I wonder if that's a harder tire. Is that more like a 1600 or one of the harder tires? Shane, I'd be interested in knowing that for sure. But I mean, and any other questions? I mean, feel free to drop them in. Let's see. Trina says back in 1996, we hauled down to Lancaster, South Carolina. I never know how to say that, to race supers. It was really humid. Most of the drivers were racing in t-shirts. Was that a normal thing back then in the South?
I moved here in 95. So for super late model racers, no, that was not normal at all. But I remember moving here and like all the four banger guys, you'd see them out there with they'd have like, the 2-piece fire suit, but they'd wear their Levi's on the bottom and their fire suit top. And it was like four banger guys and street stock guys, shit like that. They were like that all the time. Wow. So that was, back when I first moved here, that was very, very common. Didn't see it a whole lot in, super late models or limited late models.
Interesting. And a bank says Blue Ridge Outlaws went to a Pro 2, and it was a driving factor on my decision to sell the 602 and get a 525. Yep. I've heard some good feedback on that tire from some of the guys at Carolina Speedway. That's great.
Yeah, no, I believe that was a really smart move by those guys.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And, especially for the price of the tire and the fact that, like, that thing will last around here at most places pretty well. At most places that, that series is going to go.
Well, and don't we have a lot of the tracks that are really hard on tires? I mean, it's almost like sandpaper on them.
Well, there's several, but and there'll be a few that they go to, but I mean, for the price of the tire, I mean, you can't beat it.
Yeah. And Shane said it's like an AR 48 would be
American Racer 48.
Yeah. And Jeremy says the local series was talking about going to the Pro 2, but Ray Cook said there isn't enough tires to make a whole series run them. He said they couldn't keep up with the supply.
Okay, well, I mean, that makes sense because me and Ray have had a couple of conversations about that very recently, actually.
Yeah.
And I know that there is a supply issue, especially with getting raw materials to make tires. So.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, there's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
And it's just all the way up the chain, and it's why we're seeing the pricing increases and everything.
Right.
In everything.
Yeah.
is it's just right on up the chain back to the raw materials.
Mhm.
All right, here's a really good question I'd love for you to address, Steve. Mike says, what would be considered routine weekly maintenance on a dirt car, and anything you'd strongly recommend?
I mean, as far as the car itself, I mean, gosh, I mean, yeah, I mean, I mean everything. I mean, you need to be checking spindle. I mean, it depends on where you race and all that stuff, but I mean, yeah, I mean, spindles need to be checked every week. You need to actually come off the car and be checked on a spindle tester. Especially rear end tubes. I mean, if you're running aluminum tubes, they need to be checked weekly for as far as straightness and everything else. Um,
Wash the car.
yeah. Yeah, number one is wash the damn thing. But no, I mean, gosh, I would recommend. I ain't trying to sell you on the damn program because I was there, but I would recommend the Race Logic deal and just listening to it. If you listen to nothing more, listen to the weekly maintenance that like the CVR team goes through on their own race car.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, that's a world of information that's invaluable. And that's why every time they show up at a racetrack, they're there to win, and usually winning or in the top three.
One of the tips that I did pick up from Race Logic, which totally makes sense, but you just don't think about, if you're a team that normally has your car, like you put it up on jack stands or on a lift or something throughout the week, that one suggestion is to take off your shocks before you do that, because otherwise, if they're just hanging there, if they're hanging all week,
yeah, it puts pressure on the shaft seal, and it'll potentially bleed off oil out of the shaft seal.
Yeah, a lot faster.
So there's tons of tips and tricks on that as far as that Race Logic school, and honestly, I think it's probably the best bang for the buck as far as learning not only weekly maintenance but everything else about your race car.
Mm-hmm. We also talk a lot about winter maintenance as well,
yeah.
And the things to do to get your car ready for winter,
right.
And then coming out of winter and going back into the season.
Yep.
All right. Oh, Mikey says, when is Steve going to hop back in the driver's seat?
Hard to say. I can't fit in Alex's, so all these custom built seats nowadays, damn it.
Well, you got a couple of choices. Either you can lose weight or you just fatten him up.
Well, no, I'm going to lose some damn weight. He's at. My fat ass needs to drop about a good 25.
Well, there's no getting to like the when you were 20 shape at this point.
Oh, I bet I could.
Really?
I'm pretty sure I could, honestly.
Huh. Yeah, I don't have a chance in hell. I'm just going to own it. Is what it is. All right. Bobby Siri says, hey, Kate and Steve, is there an advantage to running an aluminum water pump on a 602 crate?
No advantage other than most of the aluminum pumps are going to be race pumps. So they're actually designed to flow more and not cavitate and things of that sort. So I would be much more inclined to run an actual name brand racing pump, like Edelbrock or Adams or Stewart or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And all right. So Jeremy asks, isn't the Race Logic chassis school available at Crate Insider? It's not. It's a separate website. So racelogic.vip is the website for Race Logic. We just talk about it a lot here because we were both there. And then I'm involved.
I just know the value of it.
Yeah.
I mean, the value of it is, I've been doing racing since I was 16 years old. I'm fucking 51 now. So I learn shit when I go there. And whether it's the late model school or the street stock school, I mean, I learned stuff when I went there. Learned a lot of shit I'd done right over the years, but also learned some stuff that I did wrong over the years, and learned some stuff that I didn't know.
Mm-hmm.
So,
well, and that's interesting because not only did you race all those years, but you have a racing business, and
right.
You're surrounded by this, 5 days a week.
Yeah.
52 weeks a year.
Yeah, racing business and been involved with some of the best that there ever will be as far as dirt late model racing goes.
Yeah.
And still, it's just stuff that you either don't think about it or you thought about it, or am I right? Am I wrong? That kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And then, you get confirmed that you're right or wrong. So it's invaluable.
Absolutely. Yeah. So racelogic.vip, and I could probably type that into the chat.
You probably
Yes. All right. Here we got, I'm not sure if I understand the question. Flow cooler water pump out of Cali.
Never heard of
sure.
Honestly.
Yeah. And Brandon says, what would be the best thing to help on a 602?
In regards to what?
Don't know. I mean, probably just whatever your trick of the week you might have.
I mean, trick of the week is usually trick of the week, but
I don't know. That was my language.
Be more specific to that. Yeah.
Okay. And Shane says, I got a 17-inch seat. You can hop in my train when you guys test a Cherokee, about an hour and a half from me. Give me a heads up if you want to.
I can actually fit in a 17 without a problem. So my problem in the ass. It's like right here in the ribs and the that chest area.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, I don't know, like a shorter Scott Bloomquist, I guess.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, getting in Alex's seat, I fit in the ass part of it. It's just I feel like somebody's like got my ribs caved into my lungs.
Yeah.
When I'm trying to sit in it.
All right. On a lighter note here, I will show this on the screen in a moment, but Donine says, hey guys, on a lighter note, you know what snow and sex have in common?
I do not.
You never know how much you'll get or how long it will last.
That is a great dad joke for the day.
It really is. It's a really good one. Oh, now back to the 602. Jeremy's like, yeah, Beehive Springs help a 602. Don't. No. That's a recipe for disaster. Have you ever seen somebody try to put beehives on a 602?
No, but we down on one of those. I don't even know what the hell those things are called. Some damn. It's something that Ray Cook's allowing his track. It's a Quicksilver motor or something.
Oh.
And it's actually a 602 head. It's Vortec head, and it's got beehives on it.
Oh, okay.
No, I mean all we did was dyno. We didn't mess around with anything other than just dynoing it to see what we can get out of it.
Right.
But it's supposed to got beehives.
Now, is it comparable with a 602?
I'm not at liberty to say.
Oh, okay. I mean, it's just question because, one thing that's been a question mark or a concern of mine is as this availability has been such an issue and there are racers that maybe blow an engine or whatever, we don't have any backup solution for how they can go racing. And until if we run into
602s are readily available, so it's not a big deal.
Okay. True.
I mean, it's the 604s and the 525s we can't get.
Right. Well, I mean, and that's kind of just like the next barrier there. And if we can't get those, I mean, it's almost like opening itself up for a competitive situation that could happen.
Plus, it's still a GM motor. So.
Except, we can't get blocks.
Yeah. Like I said, it's still a GM motor.
Or the Quicksilver? Oh, yeah, because it's got the GM heads. I don't know. Just questions. It never hurts to ask questions. Yeah. You don't always like
or whatever the hell it is. I don't know.
We said it's got Vortec heads on it. It's interesting.
Same Vortec head. Everything looks the same on the outside other than the harmonic balancer and the intake manifold.
Gotcha.
So
yeah. All right. Let's see. Jeremy says, what about good 602s don't need to be rebuilt when you buy them?
Yeah, those are getting a little bit rarer, but I will say that the last few that we've had in, I would say I would trust the bottom end now on them.
Good.
Matter of fact, I'm about to make some phone calls to some customers probably tomorrow and see if they want to go back to just doing the top end.
Yeah.
Because the stuff I've seen enough of them now. We've done, probably 5 or 6 new 602s of the newest variety, and the bottom end work's been fun on them.
Mm-hmm.
A little tight on the rod bearing, or a little tight on the rods still, but they've gone to actually putting Federal Mogul race bearings in them, so that made up for the big end of the rod being a little bit tight.
That is really great to hear, because then that also means that you'll be able to get more engines out the door of not having to do the
because that's been one thing that's bogged us down is doing the new stuff.
Yeah.
I mean we got rebuilds to do, we got absolute rebuilds, but I still got new stuff mixed in there that we still have to do, and having to go through the whole damn motor on 602s, we've never had to do that.
Right.
So that's got us just kind of thrown in a little loopy spiral there.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. Now, Mike has a question. He says, would you recommend the Quicksilver over the GM 602?
I mean, hard to say. Yeah, in some senses, I think I would. Yeah.
Interesting.
So it's not a hard yes, but it's not a hard no either.
Okay.
And certainly not a soft maybe. Yeah, I think I would.
Interesting. I'm wondering, and Mike says we have both, actually, is what
Yeah.
he says. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out
Mhm.
with all of the different factors going on,
Yeah.
competitiveness, price.
No, I mean the stuff we were dynoing, it was on, it wasn't how I would personally run the combination. So it was somebody else's total combination, not ours, nothing. And it's not how I would run it. But yeah, I mean, I think that thing on E85 with good headers and shit and good carburetor, yeah, I think it'd be a pretty wicked little piece.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, and speaking of, I heard the word headers. Great news for any of our 604 dirt late model customers. Headers. We have headers again. So we have Profab headers.
You got them at the shop?
No, they're still down at Profab. But
All right. And you said drop shipped.
okay, well, I mean, you talked to Andy about that.
I'll talk to you about that.
Oh, okay.
Since
Okay.
you own them.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
You own all of them. You own all the first batch. So
I buy a lot of headers.
there you go.
I like them. I sell a lot of them.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm so excited to be able to say that we do have them in stock. And I got about half of what I ordered. So that's good. And still, I'm very happy with that. All right. Here's a new one. And, Brandon says, what year was the good and bad 602?
The bad 602 has been from about July of 2021 until just here recently. That's the one that was, had explodey issues and bearing clearance issues, and I mean massive bearing clearance issues, and like no drain back holes drilled at the back of the block, at the back of the lifter valley, stuff like that.
Yeah.
The newest ones that are coming out, which I can't give you an exact date rate. I think it's I'd have to look at my paperwork at the shop, but like the newest ones that are out actually have all that stuff resolved for the most part, from what I've seen.
Mm-hmm. David says, do you have 604 valve springs in stock? Yes, I do. Very happily, yes, I do. And Mike, do you think the new factory 602s, factory stock 602s are better than the 602s that were built a few years ago? If so, what's better?
No, I don't. I've seen,
but not necessarily worse. I mean, I like the same.
No. I mean, they're not worse, but I mean, I don't see them as being any better.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe, the latest stuff I've seen, I think is going to be consistent as far as, the block work and stuff like that goes. Honestly, if I was like wanting to build one with like the most power I could possibly produce, I'd probably like maybe get a new one, take the heads that are on it, throw them in the garbage, and go get some, 2015 heads or something where the ports are actually the right side up and stuff like that.
Gotcha.
And then intake manifold, I haven't seen any difference in those.
And Jeremy's taken off. He hates to leave early, but enjoy the conversation. Have a great week. We'll catch you on TikTok. So anybody who's just joining us, Crate Insider now has a new TikTok channel, so you're welcome to join us over there. I've been there for a week, and I'm liking it.
Yep.
I'm liking it. And Slim Pal says, what about Profab 602 headers for street stock? That is something that we definitely sell. I know that I've got a set of headers on the shelf, and I don't know I can't remember if they're for street stocks. This would be for metric. I don't know if it's that I have a 520
under the
yeah
rail or
no up top in the the crossover street stock headers.
Mm-hmm.
I think I might have a set on the shelf. Otherwise, I do have more on order.
Yeah, it does depend a lot on the chassis brand you've got.
Yeah, so if it's a metric like a Johnson or one of those, right, for a street stock. So it just depends the metric, but I do carry them. I think I have a set on the shelf. That's just off the top of my head. We're not. Mm-hmm. I'm not at the warehouse right now. So.
Right.
So yeah, cool. All righty. Any other questions? Anybody? I don't see any other questions. Yeah. Anything exciting coming up for you, Steve?
Work.
Okay.
That's about it.
Okay. Yeah. All right.
I'm sorry. I've got nothing enlightening to say or anything, but no.
No worries.
We've just been busier than shit. So.
Oh, and here's a comment. We'll just wrap this up, Steve, so you can hold on just a second here. And he says it's a statement, so it's a metric. Yeah, so those those headers will work. And James says those street stock under the rail headers are like $1,400, aren't they? Probably somewhere in that range. I don't know off the top of my head.
Go to the website below.
Yeah, we've got them right there, up there. So with that, I think we'll wrap those up. And 604 street stock headers. We don't have any of those, just the 602 street stock headers. And the best E85 carb for 604. We'll end on that, and then we'll wrap it up.
One my brother builds, in my opinion. But you know, if you don't want to use one of those, then I'd contact, you know, David Smith or Stealth or Willie's.
Yep. Yeah. So that's that. All righty. Well, I want to thank you all for being here. Thank you for being part of the show. Check us out on TikTok and feel free to share this with a friend.
Check you out on TikTok. I am not on TikTok. So don't even start that rumor.
Actually, he is, because we take pieces of this show and put it on TikTok. So he's TikToking against his will.
Okay. Apparently I don't know about it.
It's all good. Hey, we'll see you guys next week. Have a good one.